A couple of months before Anthony Bourdain was killed, he gave a sensation meat hammering the Clintons as being entitled attackers and killers. The recently uncovered meeting was at last distributed on Sunday. In it, Bourdain impacts Obama and the Clintons for escaping with different heinous crimes. ZeroHinge.com reports, asked about whether Bill Clinton ought to have been expelled from office after the Monica Lewinsky embarrassment, Bourdain said that regardless of Clinton being a bit of crap, who was entitled, rapey, gropey, grabby, disturbing ought to have still kept his activity in spite of the way that he, and she, referring to Hillary Clinton, obliterated these ladies and the way that everybody came was shouting in obvious false reverence and dishonesty. How you can from one viewpoint cry at the moon about all these different predators. What's more, not in any event think back. Alright, suppose, well, it was all consensual, groundbreaking men, captivated ladies, approve fine, we should acknowledge it at its most beneficent translation. Fine. He is an extremely beguiling man, I met him, he's fucking attractive. Anthony Bourdain through Popula. Bourdain clarified Hillary, taking note of when you're in the room, you think stunning, she's extremely warm and decent and interesting. In any case, the way they proficiently disassembled, wrecked, and boldly ruined these ladies for talking their fact. As the Washington Examiner wrote in 2016. Be that as it may, Mrs. Clinton adopted an altogether different strategy herself 25 years back as the spouse of then-Governor Bill Clinton, driving the push to ruin ladies who approached with their own stories of badgering or ambush by her better half. Crusade accounts composed by journalists Nitty Gritty How She Honkoed the battle group that took care of bimbo emissions, uncovering individual papers and authority records that could be utilized to undermine the stories told by a progression of ladies. One best associate later described Mrs. Clinton's purpose to devastate the tale of one informer, while previous consultant Dick Morris said Mrs. Clinton occupied with extortion to endeavor to constrain ladies to retract their stories. Washington Examiner. Bourdain said Clinton's conduct amid those years is unpardonable, however repeated that he didn't think Bill Clinton ought to have been tossed out of office for his conduct. Bourdain, I don't think he should have been tossed out of office for this. Bustillos, why not? We need individuals who are of phenomenal character to be in that office. Bourdain, I think you perceive individuals for what they are, and you decide for yourself. I'm not voting in favor of the mother lover until the end of time. Or then again anyone who empowered him, you know? This item, affirm, I voted in favor of it, it's in. Is this reason for hauling somebody out of office? I don't think so. Bustillos, what on the off chance that we did have those sort of guidelines? We need a man who resembles, fair. Bourdain, I would take a gander at along these lines. I could never under any conditions vote in favor of Bill Clinton today. Be that as it may, I think impugning the person over Lewinsky was crazy. Especially given today. It was the disgracing, ruining, undermining the ladies that made them too unacceptable for any future undertakings. I don't think they should have pulled him from office. Popula. On the subject of previous President Obama, Bourdain said he observed him to be extremely unconvincing in broad daylight, a great part of the time. I was continually needing somewhat more enthusiasm, quit ending, the stopping, cautious discourse. Face to face, completely the most benevolent, agile, genuine, clever, no feeling of figuring, legit, I mean, you know. Him I'd vote in favor of fucking once more, whenever. Bustillos, yeah, and he like rambled individuals, and rescued the investors. Bourdain, I trust he might not have been the best president ever, but rather he's one of the fucking most delightful, great, a standout amongst other individuals we at any point had. Bustillos pushed back, having solid sentiments subsequent to feeling bamboozled by Obama. Bustillos, no. No. He lied. I buckled down for that crusade. I saw and I just trusted him and I resembled hope, change, yes. I'm similar to, I'm so glad, we won, you know. Minute one he began fucking with us. He guaranteed straightforwardness, he like, a greater number of informants were indicted than whenever. There's not one fucking investor in prison. Not one. Prison me one fucking investor. These individuals stole 9 million houses. Bourdain, there's that scene in The Wire. See, this is the default position for white folks dependably, quote The Wire, with, where Mayor Garcetti comes to office, the optimistic young fellow, and the person comes in and he says, Mr. Leader, he's the poop sandwich. Also, you're going to eat it. The person before you ate it, the person before him ate it. This is the truth. This is the genuine circumstance. Everyone's been misleading you up till this moment. I'm going to disclose to you reality of the circumstance you are presently confronting and the powers contradicting you to complete anything. Presently eat the poop sandwich. I don't want to eat the poop sandwich. You will eat the poop sandwich. Bustilos, this is the thing. We're all tolerating this. It resembles, as long as we keep. Bourdain, I'm a firm adherent to negative convenience of the decreasing of, trading off one's standards for more noteworthy's benefit, to a point. However don't bring home the bacon out of it. Bustilos, there's where it's not alright. Bourdain, well, for the Clintons it's an image. For Obama I truly trust he settled on remorseful however ascertained choices. I'm going to spare my ammo for this fucking. Concerning President Obama's photograph operation with tycoon Richard Branson directly subsequent to going out, Bourdain concurred that it was certainly not a decent look. Bustilos, and I adored him, I had cherished him, however he fucked us. What's more, he got on the fucking plane ski with Richard Branson directly after he escaped the White House and I'm similar to, buddy. Bourdain, so? Bustilos, is that extremely the main look that you need? You are a person with a brand. You realize that you would not do that on the off chance that it were you. Bourdain, no, I wouldn't. Bustilos, you would not. For what reason not? 'Cause I'm vain. Bustilos, shrieks. Bourdain, and I think Richard Branson is somewhat of a douche. That is not who I wanna hang out with. You know. Time is short. Look. I know Obama needs to move to New York. Also, I know he enjoys New York eateries, and he needs to eat in New York eateries. What's more, if he's going to make a couple of talks for huge cash to do that, I'm satisfied with that. What's the issue with that? They're not purchasing impact now. On this subject of Harvey Weinstein, Bourdain said as much as I jump at the chance to see him, pounded the life out of in his cell, that the possibility of the disfavored media investor in fucking Arizona eating in eateries in Arizona was discipline enough. Furthermore, at off-the-framework eateries in Arizona, so he can't eat at the best sushi eatery in Scottsdale. He's gotta go to some poop fucking place. So Arizona, I mean, as much as I'd get a kick out of the chance to see him, pounded the life out of in his cell. Bourdain at that point portrays his ideal demise scene for Weinstein. Bustilos, it's greatly improved to watch unpleasant individuals live and endure the results. Bourdain, my hypothesis of how he goes is he's brushing his teeth in a restroom, he's bare in his well-known shower robe, which is fluttering open, he's holding his mobile phone in one hand since you never know who on the Weinstein board has double-crossed him as of late, and he's brushing his teeth. He all of a sudden gets a gigantic fucking stroke, he lurches in reverse into the bath, where he gets himself with his robe open feet standing out of the tub, and in his last snapshots of awareness as he looks through his contacts list attempting to make sense of who he can call, who will really pick up the telephone. Furthermore, he passes on that way, realizing that nobody will encourage him and that he isn't looking his best at time of death. 4 months after this meeting, Bourdain would take his own life.